Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and I'm standing outside rental property number 8, which has had an interesting story over the years. Ferguson with Invest for More. I am standing in the backyard of one of my rentals the last year that have gotten messed up. Had to be working my flips to repair one of the rentals, and yeah, that just sucks. It really stinks bad in here. I am not looking in the toilet. Kind of have to be careful where I walk. Yeah, it's telling. So, a lot of you may have actually found my channel because of this property. It is the rental that I've had the most damage done to over owning quite a few properties over the last 10, 11 years. This was the worst trash rental I ever had. And I think that's about 4 years ago. We did a video of it where the people had moved in not even that long ago, less than a year ago, and just completely trashed it, broke windows. I don't know if they poured oil on the rugs or what, but just disgusting. And then we rehabbed it, have had it rented for the last 4 years, and now the tenants moved out again. So we're gonna show you what it looks like now. After, I think this is the second set of tenants who've been in here since it was first trashed, and how they left it. It's not trashed. Disclaim that right now. It's not a trash rental at all, which is nice. And then I think I purchased this for $97,000 in 2013 originally. So it's rental property number 8. I got up to 16 residential rental properties before I started buying commercial properties and kind of switched over. Now before we go in, of course, check out investformore.com for much more information on our flips, rentals, being an agent, all that great stuff in our free book on there. And I will also show some before pictures too from when it was trashed to let you know what it looks like. So here we go. The tenants just moved out, and this is what it looks like without us doing anything. This is our first time seeing it today. This might be one of the cleanest rentals we've ever had after the tenants left. So there is good and there's bad with real estate, but a lot of times we kind of, always see the bad trash rental properties all the time, and we don't ever see the good ones. And so this property's had both. Before, there was carpet in here, and it was just caked with oil and dirt and mud, and it was a disgusting house. Like I said, we'll get some pictures or videos in here. But now, you can see what it looks like after not just one more set of tenants, but 2 more sets of tenants, and really, there's almost nothing wrong with it. Now, along with us, there's a towel. Oh my God. And they left that piece of furniture out front. It had a free sign on it. I think they thought someone would come take it. Nobody did. Not a big deal. But along with this property becoming vacant, we did switch property management companies just recently. And by switch, I mean we kind of took it all over in-house. I have my own real estate brokerage to help me with my own investments. And we used to manage our properties in-house, and we stopped, outsourced them, and used a few different companies and just have not been happy. It has just been not a good experience with property managers. Not saying they're all bad. There are definitely some good ones out there, but the ones we've used have just not been what we were looking for. And to prove that point a little bit with this property, we literally had no idea the tenants were moving out or was going to be vacant until 2 days ago, or maybe it's a day ago. And our property manager said, oh yeah, the tenants on this property moved out. Like, what? Yeah, because they're supposed to give notice, and I think they did give notice because their lease was actually up, but property management company never told us that they're moving out. And they also, which was kind of weird, had a 6-month lease signed with that property management company, and that was after they signed 1-year lease, and they did a 6-month extension. And from what we can tell, we were never notified, told at all that extension was done or approved. It's very strange. I've never done a 6-month lease before, so I think I would have realized it or noticed it if we were told about that. And we've had some other issues too where leases are being renewed, signed, and we're not really told, or if we are told, it's kind of like, hey, we just renewed a lease and you're getting $25 more a month than you were before. Congratulations. It's like, well, shouldn't you approve that with us beforehand or ask us beforehand what that should be? Especially when the tenants are paying, $400 or $500 below market rent. Maybe we should bump it up more than $25. But there's some other issues too with reimbursements, repairs, communication, tenant choices, all kinds of things. So we decided to bring it back in-house, and hopefully everybody at our office can handle it, and it's not too crazy for us to take over the management of those properties. All right, we'll check out the basement, which was absolutely disgusting before too. It was one of the worst parts before when it got trashed. There were holes in the walls, just soiled mattresses, where kids were staying. It was just really disgusting and sad. Now it's beautiful. So Nikki, who's my project manager and would be helping with the property management too, and she actually volunteered for that for some reason, but she had a really good point. If we're going to manage rental properties in-house and keep doing residential properties, we should probably paint them all the same colors, right? Have the same wall, trim paint. So if we need to touch stuff up, paint rooms, certain things, it's all the same. You don't have to worry about matching paint or figuring out what it is. I'm like, hey, that's a really good idea. And since it's a rental, it's not that big a deal if they're all the same color either. Yeah, this room back here was just disgusting. And with those tenants too, we screened our tenants, did credit checks, background checks, all that. They had rented from us in another property before this one. And I think they're living with their sister and like, hey, we want to move out, get our own place. And they'd rented from us for years with no problems, no issues. And I don't know what it was. I don't want to speculate, but you can always guess. And that something happened where their lives got thrown upside down and they just destroyed the place, stopped paying rent, stopped talking to us. We went through the eviction process, but I think they moved out before the actual eviction. So we didn't have to, actually have the sheriff over here and evict them, but they just left it disgusting. So now the question is, what do I do with this property? Because if you've been watching my videos and following along, we have been selling some of my residential properties and then 1031 exchanging them, or just flat out selling them and buying other commercial properties, investing in other stuff. Because this property, I think I said, bought it for $97,000 in 2013. It's probably worth $320 in that range. It's hard to say. I haven't looked at prices in this neighborhood for a little while, but I'd say at least $320. It's really not in bad shape. We'd have to do almost nothing. I don't even know what my loan is on it. I'd have to double check and see because we got such short notice that it was vacant. Probably owe $100 and some thousand on it, I would guess, because I think we refinanced it at one point. And then if we rented it, you could probably get, it's a 5-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,800 maybe a little more, but in that range. So the rent to value ratio is not very good. I have a lot of equity tied up in it, but I don't know if I want to sell another property right away or not. So it does have a really cool tree too. Some kind of vine. My sister told me what it was. I forgot what it was called, but it's funny. We just saw another house with a bunch of these trees, and then there's one right here. I didn't even realize it. But that's our question. Do we sell it, 1031 exchange, buy something else, or do I keep it, rent it, maybe sell it later on down the road? I'm not really sure. You can refinance it. We could probably take out $200 and some thousand loan, have another $100,000 in equity, but it probably wouldn't cash flow extremely well. Might cash flow a little bit, but just because the rents are so low compared to the value, it wouldn't cash flow extremely well. So I'll think about that. If you guys have comments on that, let me know. Any concerns, questions, leave them below. Love to see those. We love to see the likes and shares too, if you can do that. Like I said, the windows are already done because they're all broken before from when it was trashed. So, it's almost ready to sell as it is right now if we wanted to, which is crazy because we always do a light rehab on most of our rentals before we sell them. So again, we'll have an update on this when we figure out what to do with it. We'll have updates on rental property number 7, rental property number 12. Our flips going on. We're buying a lot of new flips recently, selling flips. So yeah, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll be back with much more content coming up here soon.